Let us take a moment to calm ourselves by chanting a holy mantra. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karvavahe.
A very good morning to one and all present here. On behalf of Sri Balaji University, Pune, I, Student Manager Pramod Kumar, extended a warm and hearty welcome to each one of you.
And I am Student Manager Palak Panjwani. It gives us immense pleasure to host today's session graced by an esteemed personality from the corporate world. His presence here is truly inspiring for all of us as budding managers.
To begin the proceedings, we would now like to invite our student manager Anmol Gautam to felicitate our guest speaker Mr. Ramanand Borse sir, Global Sales Director at Navista, with a bouquet as a token of our respect and regard.
Thank you, Anmol. Now, to formally introduce our guest, I invite Student Manager Achal Patil to kindly introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Ramanand Borse sir.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Student Manager Achal Patil, and it's my privilege to introduce to you our distinguished guest speaker for the day, Mr. Ramanand Borse sir, Global Sales Director at Navista Solutions Private Limited, Pune. With a strong professional journey rooted in self-study and practical learning, Mr. Borse has crafted a niche for himself in the world of global business. His passion for global trotting not only broadens his horizons but also enables him to identify and seize amazing business opportunities across diverse markets. Sir firmly believes that a value adding process leads to a sustainable business and ensures that every collaboration he undertakes is a fruitful association for all the stakeholders involved. Having worked with some of the best companies, he has developed both a professional and realistic approach towards understanding and managing business sensitivities. An approach that continues to drive his entrepreneurial adventures. What makes him stand out is his innate ability to identify customer pain points and address them with versatile and practical solutions, a skill that reflects his deep understanding of business dynamics and customer centricity. Please join me in extending a very warm welcome to our guest of honor, Mr. Ramanand Borse sir. So, the stage is all yours.
I thank you, the esteemed institute, Sri Balaji Institute of International Business, and the dignitaries here. And students, thank you very much for your presence here. This is my first time to address such kind of large audience of students. It will come there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, bear with me. And I would like to start my session with a small prayer that I will dedicate to my spiritual master. So you might be knowing it. If you know it, just recite with me. If you don't know, just close your eyes and try to connect with your master or spiritual master. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Okay. I'll just, before we start with the presentation, I would like to give my short introduction. My name is Ramanand Borse, and born in Bijapur but brought up in Pune. I've been studying in colleges like Ferguson College, and then passed out from there and did my MBA from IBM Archinchwood. I started my career with company like Force Motors, if you know, that is there in Akudi. So my first assignment was to get into quality control, and I was working on shop floor as such. So that opportunity has given me an understanding of what happens on the shop floor when it comes to large organizations. So from that understanding to climbing the ladder of management to getting into, now I am an entrepreneur. So that journey was very much bejeweled with a lot of experiences. And since our today's subject is international business, I would like to stress on that itself. My international business career started in 2009 when I was working with a company called Classic Stripes. Am I audible clearly? Okay. So that company is it's featuring into great place to work for. There are about 50 companies in India that gets featured in this great place to work for. So I had an opportunity to work with the best of the companies in India, and I had been interested with the responsibility of handling the Middle East market and North America definitely. And through that, I got to know a lot of things about international business. And what I'm going to share today is my personal experience. And I've been told by Vinodji that we'll very less will touch upon the academic part or the theory part of it. So we'll get into the most of the practical and my own experience itself. So I would like to know how many of you are from international business here? Okay. And international marketing, I think the rest of them are from international marketing. Marketing. Okay. Okay. Fine. So I'll touch base on both the things, in fact. So, and how many of you had an opportunity to go outside India? I just want to know. Okay. Quite handful of you. Okay. Great. I'll touch base upon that, why it is important. Okay. So we can start with this. So our today's topic is your passport to global opportunities. Are you ready? I'm not hearing. Okay, thank you. Okay, next slide. Sorry. Yes. So I don't know how many of you have gone or seen this. Seen? How many of you? Okay, we'll redo it for the others. Is it running? So this is a story about a child, or a boy rather, who is looking at it's a regular day for him, and he is trying to go and have a normal life together. But what happens here is there is a problem, and what that problem is, we'll have to see in the video itself. If it's taking time, we can get on the YouTube directly. Uh, connecting with the world itself and making that lasting change. So we are at a juncture wherein India is set to become a superpower. We are already third largest economy in the world, and now we are getting into the second number.
सर आपके लिए उस पार सर आपके लिए उस पार कार का इंतजाम किया है सर कराइए सर किसी डेढ़ कल तक इधर जाओ बोला क्या बात करता है क्या ऊपर से जाएगा क्या ऊपर से जा जा
I hate this student. करो ना
वहाँ जाके क्या करूँगा
जाने बूंदे आई कैसा दर्द लाई सामने क्या है ये तेरे का है तू बता रे तुझको पार लेगा होगा वो मसीहा से तू ढूंढता है बोली है तू वही तेरा रास्ता है तेरा है सहारा तुझको पार लेगा तू ही है तेरा किनारा तेरा रास्ता तेरा सहारा तुझको पार लेगा तू ही है तेरा किनारा
So my question is, what was the problem? First question is, what was the problem? Can anybody just raise your hand, tell me? Anybody? What was the problem here? Yeah. No, but what was the problem when actually you see there was a log? It was this thing. So the problem, we can say that there was something unexpected that happened, right? So now, who solved the problem? Did he? Did small boy solve the problem? How many yes? No? Okay. So the story tells, this is my understanding of this thing, everybody will have their own perspective also, but since we cannot imagine the boy lifting the log himself, so solving the problem was the log, and then lifting it and keeping it aside was the solution, right? So if we look at the boy, he is hardly about 30 kgs and he cannot lift that 3000 kg log. So definitely he has not solved the problem as such, but he started with it, right? Just because he started with it with a conviction, not even conviction, he had that imagination rather, that I would like to contribute to this problem. Only because of that try, he got the help from others, and that's how the problem was solved. So the initiative that is required, even if you think that I'll not be able to do it, it is too tremendous task or too humongous task for me. Still, you have to believe in something that is your own strength, your own niche, and your own values. So I would like to take to you my next slide. So we've seen this, so we'll just solve the problem. I've already given you the introduction. I'll give you my company introduction, so to say. My company's name is Navista Solutions India Private Limited, and it is a startup company. We started about 5 years back. I come from a background of automotive accessorization. So my strength lies in international sales of automotive accessorization. So what we do is we understand the customer's customer. So if you are buying, say, Fortuner, Toyota Fortuner, so you as a buyer will be my customer or my customer's customer, and we work on that persona, that personality, and offer the accessorization or customization to company like Toyota. So this is our working model as of now. And we have been working with Toyotas and Nissan and MG India, Renault Nissan, and we directly work with them. We don't work with aftermarket. You might have seen so many accessories in aftermarkets, but we don't touch that part of it. So we work with the original equipment manufacturers like these companies, and that gives us a tremendous experience and exposure to the vehicle itself. So when it comes to international market, we work with these brands, and they give the opportunity to us to work on different concepts, different ideas, and that we take forward. And this is what Navista is all about. We call ourselves as surface augmentation specialist, which means we add surface on surface and create that interesting look to the vehicle, interior as well as exterior. So last 5 years we have been having very good experience with Indian as well as overseas customers, and I'm proud to say that we are taking this very niche idea to the world and originated, I won't say originated, but definitely started to a certain extent from Navista, and customer is appreciating our efforts. That's what I can say. So that was about my company. So I know that you are here studying different subjects like international business, marketing, international sales also, I would say. So I'll just touch base upon why IB. You would be having the maybe theoretical, mostly theoretical understanding, but I would like to take you through my personal experience why IB is required, and that's where the differences can be made. Okay. As I was mentioning some time back, India is in a growth engine now, and it is going very fast. When I go to the different countries and see their economies, see what they are doing, so I can definitely compare India and their economies in a more practical way, so to say. So when, for example, I would say that if I'm visiting Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia definitely is one of the most prominent markets in GCC region. Say they are selling more than 1 million vehicles a year. So India is sitting on no, more than 30 millions, including the two-wheelers in a year. So it's a quantum jump that we have. Of course, we have our demography also, but when it comes to comparing, they are not having any manufacturing there. So we sit in a vehicle which is totally manufactured in India, but there they are totally dependent on the import of the vehicle. Of course, they are sitting on a large sum of money and their oil reserves are there, but at the same time they are dependent on somebody. We ourselves are self-sustainable. Even if we are not able to get any imports, we definitely manufacture ourselves and we can serve our own purposes. So India is one of the fastest growing economy, more than 7% GDP that we are looking at. And then to reach 5 trillion economy and beyond, India needs a strong IB in export. I can definitely vouch for this because you are seeing a lot of changes are happening in geopolitical region as of now. Maybe when Trump has taken the drastic decisions of import duties and all that, you might be aware of that. So this is giving us a tremendous opportunity for us to go elsewhere also. I'll touch base upon that regional interest very soon. So the second is demographic dividend, wherein we are looking at maybe 65% of India's population is under 35 and gives the world's youngest workforce, I would say. And why this is important is if you look at the passport index, what is the, who is the, may I ask if you know, which is the strongest passport in the world? Are you sure? It is now UAE with 179 points. Ours is only 72 points. Okay. So we have climbed from maybe last 10 years, we have climbed drastically 48 to 72. So yes, demographic is important in terms of this is a young force, but it is also intelligent young force. It is not just for the labor work that we are doing. It is, if you look at major workforce outside India, if you look at the NRIs, so to say, they are one of the best position in their in those particular countries, whichever country it is. Labor force is not Indians. Labor force mostly for middle management and top management is Indian. So yes, the demography definitely matters. Global exposure is coming a very fast pace. We have to be ready for that. I'll just narrate one incident here. I was with the German Chancellor in MCCIA. That was about a year back. I was with them. And the kind of realities in Germany as of now is there are many companies who are looking for their successors because they don't have successors. I can relate with some of the industries in India also. They might have started about 30, 40, 50 years back, but their next generation is not at all interested in taking that succession ahead. So it is happening at a very high level in those countries wherein they are looking for people who will take charge of their companies. Of course, they will like to share the profit, and those terms will be different, but they are looking at some intelligent people who will be taking complete control of the industries or their companies. So he was mentioning that if you are interested, if you are having that capability, come there and have some handshakes there. So that will give a tremendous scope and tremendous opportunities for Indian entrepreneurs, Indian companies, and of course the workforce also. This is just one example I am giving. India is becoming factory and office of the world, as you rightly know that the certain domains are totally dominated by India. IT definitely it is there. Textile we are getting the advantage of Bangladesh being subdued in certain areas. Before that, Bangladesh was very strong, but now due to certain geopolitical reasons, India is giving preference. India is being given preference in textile. Pharma, I can definitely vouch for this. Africa is a new market for pharma, and I have had my experience in pharma sector as far as Indian medicines are concerned. It is not that we are getting some medicines or certain medicinal inputs from the outside and we are manufacturing it and giving it. It is not that way. It is our own medicines, herbal medicine that are getting appreciated in countries in African continent rather. That is in huge demand. So yes, pharma, IT, textile, EVs is coming up now. I'm not very sure EVs would be we cannot have too much of trust into EVs as of now. But yes, for the short and medium term, those are the opportunities we will have. China plus strategy, I was just mentioning during our talk few minutes back that few of my customers in Middle East are saying that we don't want anything made in China. So what that means? That means they are looking at China plus strategy, China plus one strategy. This means that even though China is coming up to a different strategy altogether, we have to be ready for replacing certain areas when it comes to technology and IPs, that intellectual properties. So firsthand, I'm getting this feedback from my customers. Of course, I cannot generalize it as of now, but this is my personal experience that they want to replace something that is more trustworthy and more reliable. These are the areas where I'm going to touch base upon that, but import, export, supply chain, and cross-border deals would be an area where IB professionals or international marketing professionals can work with. Digital powerhouse services, definitely services are the largest forex generation in India as of now, and second is the products. As far as IT is concerned, we are definitely at a stage where we can have a very great advantage of making this a service oriented business. So as Modi ji has already given this message to us that 2047 we should be a developed nation, and I'm sure that the kind of pace that we have, kind of technology and kind of strategies that we have developed is definitely helping us to get there. By 2047 will be one of the best nations in the world in terms of, say, per capita income, in terms of technology, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of helping the world itself. So here IB would be helping into trade agreements, global investment, cultural software. Cultural software, soft power is another area where we can, as an ambassador of India, can help understand others and gel well with their culture itself. So my experience in Africa, I'd definitely like to narrate. There is a country called South Sudan, which has got its independence in 2011, which is the newest found country in the world at that point of time. I visited that in 2014. So this country, when I entered in the country, it was a shock for me because the airport was like a very rustic airport. It was not airport at all. So when I got down there, I could see that the immigration, if you have experienced immigration, it is one of the top class we would have in India, but it was kind of a very, very makeshift arrangement that they have done for the immigration purpose. But the most striking was the newfound country was so much into chaos. And what that chaos means is, I'll just narrate one example to you. You might have seen in India, we have only right-hand drive vehicles, right? I could see both the vehicles there, left-hand drive and right-hand drive, both going together. So that kind of chaos was there. They didn't have the tar roads. Only one tar road was there in their capital, Juba. And all were other roads were all dirty roads. So when I moved around, I could find that the poverty was to the next level. And people there were, their profession was whatever they get on hand with, whether it is by theft, whether it is by force, or whether it is by wage or regular wage. And I could see that under that, they were pretty much interested in getting into trade. So there are certain sections where we could trade hands with them. So I was there for selling the three-wheelers, and they were quite okay with. They were anticipating such kind of help. But the cultural difference I wanted to showcase here was we are at a stage wherein we will have those shocks and we need to be ready for those shocks, that it will not be hunky-dory or very easy to get into international sales or international business, etc. So there are many stumbling blocks, and of course they are very interesting, so to say. So when we are looking at 2047, we have already seen ISRO, G20 presidency, International Yoga Day. These are the areas where we are already making a huge mark in the world. I would like to stress about again upon the International Yoga Day, because India as a spiritual powerhouse, whenever I am visiting, and again I'm sharing my personal experience with you, that during one of my visits to Cape Town, I had my office there, and I definitely would like to strike a chord on spirituality with the other people there. So they might be from a different background, different culture, different religion altogether, but when we talk about spirituality, it takes us to a different level altogether. We know that we are connecting as a human being to a certain extent, and that makes a lot of difference also. So when you are going as an Indian ambassador, please make sure that you are also looking at a culture or a different set of people through spiritual point of view also. That gives you a different perspective, that helps you ease the tension between the two parties. Geopolitical influence, I'm sure that you must be going through a lot of news and a lot of interaction in terms of what is happening in geopolitical canvas. And I can see that in last maybe couple of years or 2-3 years, there has been a complete the pace of change in geopolitical sector is tremendous, I would say, and we are getting shock after shock, shock after shock. A lot of changes happening, and they are dynamic changes. You cannot have one change and go behind it. When you go behind one change, there are already 3-4 changes happening. So definitely I would say that our government is very competent to handle these kind of changes, but we as a citizens should be aware of these changes. And as a student, I would say that I urge that you go through the whatever happening in international arena and try to connect the dots, what is happening and what is the effect of it. So I'm sure that you would be already going through that. So I was telling you about the Indian passport ranking. In 2015, it was 48. Today it is 74. So the target is the highest you can go is 198. Okay, now that we have seen why IB is important, let us get into the skills that is required. I'm sure that you would be interested in knowing what skills are required when it comes to, I'm specifically talking about international business now. So you need to have, I'm going through, in fact, soft skills, so to say, because hard skill you would be learning yourself, and I'm sure that institute would be very much aligned with that kind of knowledge impart. So desire is what is making difference in today's world. If you have a strong desire of getting into international business, that means taking on the challenges as they are and working on it will give you a complete understanding of what is lying ahead of you. What I mean desire is that since you are here, you already made that desire, right? You already taken that as a challenge that I want to succeed in international business. So desire, I would say, when I connect with my own story, I had this desire of getting into different countries. I wanted to travel a lot. I want to connect with different cultures. I wanted to see what is happening in the other part of world, because before I got into my first flight, I was thinking about what kind of people would be there in, say, Africa. Okay, are they real people or what we see in the television? And that point of time, the world was not having so much of exposure. But that point of time, I was so naive and so this thing that I was thinking, what kind of people are there? What kind of culture would be there? So that curiosity took me to a different level of getting into international business. And I had that desire, and I can connect to that desire. About maybe 20 years back, I had that desire. So if you have that strong desire, you'll definitely be successful in international business. So this Masaba Gupta, have you heard of Masaba Gupta before? Okay, you must have, because that is connecting with the today's generation. Can you resonate with this? Are you connecting with the brand that she has? I'm sure you might have learned about her story also, but I would like to reiterate that story here. Masaba Gupta, if those who don't know about Masaba Gupta, she is the daughter of Vivian Richards and Nina Gupta, right? She started with her own Masaba, House of Masaba is her brand, and she started with her own design in terms of fabrics and in terms of clothing. So when she started, she got the feedback from the industry that this is too outdated, it is too bold, and it is not resonating with Indian culture. But even after understanding that, she pursued and she made sure that whatever values she had, whatever understanding she had about design and the brand itself, she pursued with that, and she never relented on that, and that made her a very good icon in the fashion industry as of today. So the crux of the success was she blended two cultures. One is the Caribbean and one is the Indian. That's what she can relate to her success. And I would say that when you are connecting the two international cultures, you will have this fantastic outcome. Fearlessness, that I would like to dedicate to Sri Ratanji Tata. You might have heard about Ratanji Tata getting into JLR. So it started with 1999, incidentally. When Indica was not doing well, he wanted to sell it off. So he found that Ford is the company who can buy their Indica project. So all the way he went to US, and when he went there, some of the representatives ridiculed him, absolutely ridiculed him. This is not worth it. You don't deserve a chance. That is what he got to know. When he came out of that meeting, he made it a point that I will be making this brand as a global brand, and I want to give it back to them. For next 9 years, he slogged out. 2008, because of the recession, the Ford was not in a good condition. So they wanted to sell the JLR business. And that was the opportunity Ratanji Tata took, and he bought that JLR. And to the astonishing part of it was all cash deal. $2 billion was the transactional amount, and he did it very elegantly, I would say, and with their self-respect. It was not kind of you did this to me and I'm doing this to you, not that kind of this thing, but he was more respectful in that, and he did it with dignity. And that is because of this fearlessness that he took that decision in 1999 that I want to turn this around. Problem solving, yes, this is what is required in international business also. There are many problems that will be coming on your way. So if you have this knack of problem solving, you'll definitely be able to give one or the other reason for your customers and the market to come back to you. So definitely I would like to relate to this story of Mr. Varghese Kurian. How many of you know this White Revolution? Okay, few of you. So okay, Mr. Varghese Kurian passed out from engineering college, and he wanted to go to abroad and work on his further educations. But somehow there was a clause that you have to work to a certain extent in Indian companies, and then there was a chance to go abroad. So he didn't have any choice. He got through that, and his thought was, once I complete this, then I will leave India. But by the time he got the opportunity, it was in a remote village in Gujarat, and the task was to work with the farmers there. And when he started working on the farmers, he got to know that, okay, there are problems here. And the problem was they were not having enough income. They were not having enough resources for themselves, even though they had the so-called resources with them. So resource was the milk. When he started working on it, he found that there could be a way out of this and they can get their own money. And he started working with the cooperative movement. So it started with the 3-layer kind of thing. So first layer was on district level. He went to many farmers just to convince them that you give your milk to us and then we'll give you the kind of money that you are getting from the end customer. Some of the farmers accepted that, but most of the farmers were not too much confident about it. So it was a struggle for him, but eventually he got through that. And when it started with a very small change at a district level, then it went to the state level, and then it went to national level. Today, Amul Industries is one of the most I would say a respected brand in India, and they are very well established in terms of cooperative movement. So I would say that the problem solving technique that Mr. Kurian has demonstrated is definitely can be adopted and can be utilized in our own IB sense. So the next section, I would say that you must be having this question: whether I should start as an employee or I should start as a businessman. Do you have this kind of question, or you are already ready with your next strategy? How many of you would like to be an employee to start with? Okay. If I may ask you why you would like to be an employee? Okay. Okay, great. Anybody else? Okay, I think, okay. How many of you would like to start with the business directly? Okay, good. It will take a lot of time to reach the mic to you, but anybody from here? Or you can speak loudly, I can understand. Okay, go on. I think this is not working.
Yeah. So, sir, knowledge is not limited these days. You can get knowledge, and I have work experience also. I've worked in HDFC Bank as a sales executive. I think doing a job, you get contacts in the industry. So to excel, you can find people out there for your business. But starting early into a business is a good thing according to me, because अगर आप कोई चीज़ को जानते हैं, नॉलेज है आपके पास और आपको प्रोसेस पता है, तो आप बिजनेस भी कर सकते हैं. एंड रिस्क इवैल्यूएशन मुझे उसका की लगता है. अगर आपको आपके बिजनेस की नॉलेज है, आप कर सकते हो, और मुझे भी है. एंड आई एम इंटरेस्टेड टू डू IB business only because India is a great production of makhana, and I want to export it to other countries.
Okay.
So I am interested in it. Why to waste time?
Right. Good thought. So I'll just relate to my own story. I started as an employee. During my time, I mean, I passed out in 1994, so a lot of time has passed. So that time we didn't have much of the opportunities in terms of the opportunities that we have today, in terms of exposure, in terms of knowledge availability, in terms of opportunities availability. So that time I took a decision. I didn't have any other choice but to get into corporate life. And when I got into that, as you rightly said, You get to know what is happening in the industry. So it gives us a good platform when we are starting as an employee, and it makes us a methodical learner, I would say, that to certain extent you can predict also your career future. In terms of, if you are starting as a trainee, you get to at the maybe assistant manager level, then the manager level, then senior manager, general manager. So you know that hierarchy is there, and you have the visibility of your growth. When it comes to opportunities also, it helps us how the corporate functions. We know that from inside out. Of course, we don't get the 360-degree area of working, but to certain extent, if we are into sales, we know that sales strategy and sales functions, so to say. Spending power is more. As an entrepreneur, we may not have that kind of spending power, but when they are borne by the company, so you don't have to worry about spending power. Then honing the skill, the corporates are now giving a lot of exposure to the newcomers in terms of building their soft skills and hard skills. So honing the skills is getting in a methodical way. That is one advantage you have as an employee. And as I've already mentioned, that visibility of the career is definitely there. So and these are some of the points the employee has an advantage with. But on the other hand, I would say that there is advantage with the entrepreneurs also. The gentleman who rightly said that you have the high risk and high reward here, because if you start early, you will have that interesting journey to understand. If I had started that point of time, I would have been in a different position altogether. But yeah. Yeah, I would like to answer your question through this. I'll just finish this up. Maybe you will get an answer to this. But when it comes to entrepreneur or having entrepreneur's mind, yes, these are the areas where entrepreneur will be scoring high. So risk-taking ability increases. Once I know that I am in a business, I have to put in money, I have to put in efforts, I have put in so many other things to sustain the business. So that makes us risk taker rather, and it will be a calculated risk. You know that your capabilities, you know your boundaries, you know your qualities and values. Based on that, you can take a cognitive risk taking decisions. You get to know the 360-degree of the business, starting from maybe as simple as how to create an invoice, to as complex as how to write or how to offer a techno-commercial proposal to the customer. So you are looking at a complete life cycle of a product or service that you are offering. What it means is you are getting exposed to the entire business process. So that gives a tremendous advantage to the entrepreneur, which is not possible in an employee mindset. Once you start a business, that becomes your legacy. Whether it is a successful business or it is a failure, it still gives you experience. And that makes the legacy more relevant to you. If you are a failure in the business, still you get that experience. Okay, this should not have been done. I could have done this better. I could have corrected myself here. But if you are a success, then that creates a legacy, not only for you, for your family, for your employees, for your dependables also. So legacy creation is what I would say that is the highest value, I would say. And just to answer your question, if an employee is having the entrepreneur's mindset, it is a kind of a hybrid model, I would say. If you are working as an employee, but still you want to go ahead with your entrepreneurial adventures, I would say that you can have that experience when you are an employee. Okay, you will get to know all the benefits of the business being an employee, but you have to be open for that. You cannot have, if you are in sales, you just cannot have sales specialization as such. You will have to look at the accounts, you will have to look into the business strategies, you will have to look into the resource management, you will have to look into human resources. So you'll have to have fair idea of what the business demands that point of time. So it is good that if you are employee and if you are clear that I want to be an entrepreneur, you will be open for such kind of absorptions. You will be open to the training, you will be open to the learnings, and when we are clear about it, I think it will be more effective for you also. Have I answered your question? Okay. So when we are doing all this, because of we want to be a ambassador, when we are calling ourselves as Indians and Bharatiya, we have to take that brand to the world and make sure that every one of us, we are about 1.4 billion, so every one of us has that responsibility as well as that opportunity to represent ourselves as a successful Bharatiya. And what I mean by successful Bharatiya is our value, our culture, our understanding of the whole world. Holistic living is more about, I would say, sustainability, and I would like to share some of the experience I had about the sustainability. We are working with something, some sustainable material in automotive accessorization, and that is coming from the bamboo fibers. For an example, if you have heard about bamboos, then bamboo fibers are getting used in some of the plastic material as of now. And National Institute of Design in Ahmedabad are specially working in these areas. So if anybody is interested, they can connect to such a certain topics on sustainability also. But this is ingrained. I was just having a talk in the morning with the dignitaries that sustainability is ingrained in Bharatiya culture or Indian culture. We were sharing a lot of examples also, but as you, I don't know how many of you have seen your grandparents working on reusing or recycling the material, okay, what they are using every day. It could be clothes, it could be food, it could be anything, but that recyclability or reusability is ingrained in us. So I would say that when it comes to holistic living, that we can take as our one of the values, and the companies around the world are looking for sustainable solutions as of now. So since I'm working with Toyota, I know that how serious they are about sustainability. If we are taking any product to them, they will at least listen to us, because I would say that in this domain there is less competition, because innovativeness is required, and innovativeness in terms of very ground realities. When we are talking about bamboo fibers, it is a very basic thing, I would say, but it is being hyped, being given a different ideas altogether that this is the new thing now. But we have been doing already. Our culture is based on that. So I would say that when you are, and this is the one of the areas I would strongly recommend as a students, as a upcoming entrepreneurs, that if you are looking at sustainability as a major goal or major section, that is the area where world is looking at solutions. So holistic living based on sustainability could be another area where people are looking at India. A global leadership, definitely we are witnessing it. These are golden years, I would say. When I was working with some of the companies or some of the markets in the world, the passport value was not that high. But when I travel around, I see that the passport values has increased tremendously, I would say. So you are in a very better world now, and you are having that opportunity to work and show your passport strength to the world. So what that means is when you are traveling, you are carrying that extra baggage with you, that you have to showcase something very peculiar and very unique. So of course it's a kind of negative motivation, but please take it from me that there is a tremendous change in our status as of now as an Indian. So we are on the path of becoming a leader. So I am almost at the end, and I'll just keep it open for the question and answers if you have. Raise a little higher so that, okay, almost 10% or less than 10%. So communication, when it comes, if you are in IB and if you want to, if you think that my path is very clear for me, I want to get into more of foreign countries and understanding their cultures. So at least one language is necessary. I started with German because I am fond of German. So not that I'm very fluent with German, but at least a workable German language I could learn. So that gave me an advantage of understanding the technical terms or the drawing. Reading of the drawing in German was the task I had, and because of that I got a motivation of learning in German. So communication is important when you are visiting any country. At least you should know some key words there, their cultures, and how to behave there. So first is the communication in terms of not only verbal, but also through your actions, through your presentations also. I would like to cite an example here for a mistake that I did. See what happens when you go to the Middle East, and it was very early stage of my life when I was visiting Middle East countries. I was with two of my colleagues, and that time it was I was in Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, and that time it was Eid time. So we three of us were strolling outside. It was not the after the office hours, we were just walking, and we were on a footpath, three of us, and the people were going around there. And suddenly it was about 4:30 p.m. and their siren went off. Siren was for the prayers, and everybody started rushing. The shops started closing, shutters were down, and everybody was rushing inside nearest mosque. We three of us, I mean, one of us was definitely the resident there, but he said that don't worry, we will go ahead and we'll reach our destination. So at a time, after about maybe 5-10 minutes, only 3 of us were there on the street, and there came the patrol vehicle. That's a police vehicle. And they stopped in front of us and they asked us, are you Muslim? We said, no, we are not. So they said that just get inside somewhere, don't be outside here. So we rushed and we got into the vehicle. We sat inside for maybe about 15-20 minutes and then we came out. So this is the kind of cultural shock you might get. So you need to know what to do in that particular country. When we are visiting there, we need to understand how to communicate basically. So that was our wrong communication on our part, that I should have known, or the people should have known, that when the siren is going on, we should be inside somewhere. So this might lead to a very serious problems also. One more example from the same country I would like to share is, I was standing in the visa section there, the visa being checked and you are getting access inside. So it was again the same, almost same time the next year. People there would have different perspective or different approach towards their own work. So they were kind of leisure in their work. So one of the passengers in front of me, he was very fed up with the kind of delays that were happening. They were not very fast, or they were not being very efficient. So this guy said and told them that please make it fast a little bit. But that ignited the officer, and it was kind of a insult for him. And he picked that man and he kept him aside and he said that come after 2 hours. So that kind of reaction was there. So you need to understand what to speak, how to communicate. So that, I think, communication is one part of it. The second, I would say that the speed of communication, how effective you are in responding, that also matters here. And when it comes to the more of a business sense, first was more of a cultural understanding and being part of their living. But second would be more about how professional you are in terms of your speed of communication. If you are communicating on emails, if you are communicating on phone, or whether it is one-to-one verbal communication, the way you are going to respond to certain queries, that will make or break your business deals. Once the communication is there, I'm sure that you are learning these basics in the institute itself. But when it comes to real life, you need to understand you have to communicate fast and you have to communicate correctly. It is not that you might not have the second chance when it comes to such kind of communication. But when you are communicating with the customer, at least initially you need to understand their problems, what they want to say, what they want, how they want it, and then you respond accordingly. Otherwise, what happens is, what I have seen in most of cases is that we assume something, that customer wants this, I think he wants this, I think he demands this. So that way I as a one of the cases would respond in certain way that okay, this I am giving it to you, but later on the customer says that this is not what I wanted. So understanding what the customer wants, you can ask so many questions that I think they will appreciate it, that if you are asking questions, if you are not clear, ask. And if you have seen the engineering drawing, it is said that if in doubt, ask. So same principle is also applicable to the communication as well. If you are not understanding certain things, please ask, and they'll definitely try to answer those questions, because they appreciate the transparency. And when you are asking questions, it gives rise to you being transparent in your communication. So that is the second, I would say. And third is professionalism. in terms of how professional you are when you are representing not only the country but your parent company also, whether you are an employee or you have own company, how professionally you are presenting yourself, be it your outer dressing sense, whether your handshake, whether how you are going to speak, how you are going to maintain the eye contact, how you are going to present your presentations, be it the online meeting or offline meeting. In these terms, I would say that Indians as such are not very sensitive about it. I would say they take the things a little lightly, and this is very prominent when I get this feedback from the Indians who are working outside. What that means is they are telling that okay, in fact they can connect us very well. When the Indian is giving this feedback to you, then you have to take it very seriously. The expatriates or the foreigners may not be that open to you, considering they will have their own reservations. But when it comes to our own people there, our own connections there, you try to get the feedback, even if they are not giving. If you are connecting with them on a different level altogether, you ask them, you ask for the feedback, and they will give it to you. So I would say that being professional and getting the feedback from your near and dear ones will make a lot of difference. I think these are the three top points I would say that skills are required. These are soft skills I'm talking about. Hard skill you're already taking care. Yeah.
The house is open for questions.
Yeah, please.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, how is your startup standing amongst managing to standing
If you can.
strongly amongst the world giant leaders?
Please repeat the question.
Sir, how your startup is managing to stand strong against world giant leaders like Lumex and Uno Minda?
Okay, good question. These are stalwarts, and they have started long back. They have their own standing in the market, and they are very strong in their own domain, so to say. And if you look at these people, these companies, Lumax and Uno Minda, they are mostly into parts, okay, automotive parts. We as in Avista, we are not into parts. We are into mostly accessories. So we design accessories, and we just cannot compare with us with them, because our domains are different. They are not into design. They might be in design, but their design is totally different than what we design. We design the accessories keeping in term the complete vehicle as such. If you take, for example, in Indian perspective, if you take MG Hector, the Hector is designed and is marketed to a certain section of the society, or they are liking it. Certain section of the society are liking Hector. Okay, so we take that as our target market. We work on those segments. We understand the persona, we understand the personality, and we work backward, and then we present our designs to MG, keeping in mind the target audience that we had. So that makes us more relatable to the proposal in terms of what kind of market research we are doing. So when we present this, we tell that okay, this is market research we have done, and accordingly we are presenting this. So the OE can also relate with the proposal that we are going to give to them. So we are mostly into design and development. We get it manufactured from others. We are not manufacturers, but we have a consortium of companies where very closely managed. They are the manufacturers, and we get the things done from them. So the comparison is on totally different level altogether. How we stand the onslaught of that? Yes, since they are in different domain, we are in different domain. We might be minuscule in terms of the turnover and all that, but we have our own niche. We have our own offerings to the OEs. If they are supplying to the OEs to certain extent to certain product, we are offering certain products to them. So there is no apple to apple comparison, I would say. Yeah. Anybody? No questions? Wow. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, Dikshit. I'm from Balaji Institute of International Business. My question is, Pakistan just signed a deal with Saudi Arabia, a military deal where a threat to Pakistan would be seen as a threat to Saudi Arabia. Once upon a time, Saudi Arabia was a good partner to India. Do you see this as an opportunity loss because somewhere in the future we might lose South Africa and other countries as well?
Okay. Very interesting development, even very recent, I would say, that reading into such kind of incident would be very premature for me as a this thing. But what I read from this is there is a kind of shift that is happening. If you have seen that there is 57 countries, Islamic countries, they just had their own meeting, so to say. So when it comes to such kind of alliance, I would say that Saudi Arabia is a country who will be looking at their own interest first. Okay, Pakistan is not in a position to create their own interests and work accordingly. What Saudi Arabia has done eventually is that they are pitching, this is my understanding, okay, they are pitching Houthis in Yemen against Pakistan. See, it has been going on for a long time, the Saudi Arabia and Yemen, that fight is going for a long time. And there is no clear win as such for Saudi Arabia as of now. So essentially what they are trying to do is they are creating the manpower to counter the Yemen threat that is coming, that's just next door to them. So if they want to very intelligently take on this kind of problem, then they need somebody who will be having such kind of resources. And fortunately, Pakistan has the resources in terms of the ground soldiers. And I think they are paying some 3,500 riyals and certain benefits to every soldier of Pakistan, and that is how the arrangement is being done. But when it comes to India, I would say that India already given a statement that if not, it is you have to read between the line that if you are going ahead with this, there could be some implication in terms of our trade also, because we look at Pakistan as a threat. And if you are having this kind of pact, the pact is that if Pakistan is getting attacked, it will be considered as attack on Saudi Arabia, and if there is attack on Saudi Arabia, it will be considered as attack on Pakistan. So if this kind of arrangement is there, and tomorrow there is a kind of a terrorist attack on India, forbid it shouldn't happen, but if unfortunately it is there, and if we attack Pakistan, then there could be their internal arrangement that okay, Saudi Arabia might also be helping Pakistan, but we have to be very clear on that. I think this very initial stage of understanding this situation, and I am sure that Saudi Arabia is not they are intelligent to understand this kind of thing, and India being a strong partner, I think we are doing about 42 billion worth of trade with them, so they would definitely not like to jeopardize such kind of high deals. So and I could see that there is a hand of US in this, so there could be some bad element into this. So I think Modi government is very apt and very competent to work around such kind of threats. So I will have to see in the near future what is happening, and we have to be ready with all the possible threats or all the possible problems that might arise through this. Have I answered your questions? Okay.
Last question.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Anchal Patil. As you talked about creating a niche or playing on your strength, I like to know that how as a student you can identify or create a niche for yourself or to work on that.
Okay, great. In fact, I wanted to give it as a gift to the students. How you would like to understand your own niche. So it's a kind of a process, I would say. I will not have ready answer for this, but it is a kind of process. I can give some guidelines. I can handhold for that matter if you allow me in the future. If you want somebody, the student wants to get into understanding what niche they want to get on with, or what niche they already have, I would definitely like to help and create that understanding with them. So yes, we have a system of understanding the niche, and I think in my presentation I have gone through it little by little when it comes to values. So if you have that values, you understand that, okay, definitely I would like to give you that sheet also. I have that sheet with me. So it's a very simple sheet with I have bifurcated into physical, mental, intellectual, and spiritual. So if you have that values, you know that, okay, this is my, you'll just have to tick mark, and you get to know what marks you are getting. So highest mark will be giving you that kind of niche, and you know that, okay, this is my niche, then I can get into such kind of international business related domains basically. So I don't know if it is there, but I would like to share it with you. You can share it. This is the QR code. I would like to share this presentation copy with you, where you can circulate with the interesting students. Those who want this copy, definitely they can have access to this. And I personally would like to help finding the niche and how you can be bettering yourself in the future. Since you are at a student level, you definitely would like to get to the next level of getting to the actual market, or getting to know the problems in actual. So your question is quite apt, that if you want to find your niche and work accordingly, we can work on that. Thank you.
Sir, I have a question.
Okay, go on.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I am Palak Panjwani. So, sir, as one of the fellow student asked about entrepreneurial mindset when an employee is with entrepreneurial mindset. So, are the global organizations open to this, that an employee can give suggestions or new idea? How many percentage of the organizations are open to take these ideas from an employee?
Okay. On the onset of it, it depends on the organization also, what organization you are in. But a company like, I would say, Sandvik, for example. You know Sandvik company? Okay, it is one of the great place to work for in India. And a colleague, my college colleague is working there as a chief information officer. Okay, and what she shares with me is that every suggestion that has been given by the employee is being considered, however irrelevant, however impractical it might be. But that kind of culture, if it is there in the company, then definitely it will be acknowledged. If it is practical, then implemented and appreciated. But when I relate with my own company, we are a very small company, so to say, but we don't, we take on face value what the employee is trying to say about this, and how that can be implemented in our own system. It cannot be a very apt example for your questions, but when I look at my other companies also where I worked with, the employee suggestion was taken seriously. And fortunately, I have worked with such kind of companies where your boss matters first of all. If you are giving suggestion to your immediate boss, and how he or she is taking it, that also matters. So somewhat to a luck and somewhat to the corporate culture, it depends how seriously the employee suggestions are taken.
Thank you, sir. That was truly insightful and thought provoking. Thank you, sir, for sharing your wisdom and experiences with us. We now request our fellow student manager, Atul Subhash Kannade, to kindly present a memento to Mr. Ramanand Borse, sir.
To conclude today's session, I now invite Student Manager Prateek Gosavi to deliver the vote of thanks.
So good afternoon, everyone. I am student manager Pratik Gosavi, as well President International Business Club (BIIB) from Balaji Institute of International Business. It is my honor and extend the vote of thanks on behalf of Sri Balaji University, Pune. Fine and foremost, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest speaker, Mr. Ramanand Borse, sir, Global Sales Director at Navista Solution India Private Limited. Sir, your insightful session today has been truly broadened our perspectives. The way you highlighted the importance of value-driven process, customer-centric solutions, and the ability to transfer challenges into opportunities has been extremely inspiring for all of us as an aspiring manager. Sir, you covered why international business, as India is the world's growthest engine, international business, access to global jobs, global exposure, India as a global supplier, digital and service powerhouse, and strategic Bharat 2027 vision. We are grateful to have taking time for your busy schedule to guide us and motivate us. Your experience of global exposure and entrepreneurial spirit have not only enriched our knowledge but also encouraged us to think beyond boundaries. I also take this opportunity to thank our respected management, faculty members, and my fellow student manager and student council of BIIB to making today's event successful. With that, we conclude today's program. Thank you, sir, for your valuable presence.
I request everyone to kindly scan the feedback link. Quickly do that. You are allowed to go out of the auditorium only if you have filled the form. Okay?